Ms. Carrie Tan.
Parents who registered interest on the preschool search portal experience waiting times ranging from a few weeks to a few months for infant and childcare places. Any system for matching vacancies to children involves optimizing three elements: vacancies, parents' choice, and a time taken to arrive at a match. For instance, giving every parent their preferred choice while also achieving short waiting times would necessitate maintaining a large number of vacancies at all times. Costs will rise for childcare operators, which will find their way into higher fees for parents. The current system aims to strike a balance, to have a reasonable amount of vacancies available while trying to meet parents' preference. The waiting time is then an outcome of trying to optimize these two variables. We understand the members' and parents' concerns. Preschool capacity remains tight in certain areas, especially for the younger infant and playgroup ages. ACDA is working closely with anchor operators to ramp up operations and recruit manpower so that they can enroll more infants and children in newly opened centres in the coming months. Where possible, ACDA also supports operators to increase capacity by building extension blocks to existing centres, though this is contingent on space availability in the immediate vicinity of the preschool, as well as finding adequate manpower to staff the new capacity. The member asked for an update on plans to ramp up preschool places. Between January and July 2022, 4,900 of the 10,000 full-day preschool places in ACDA's plans have materialized, and ACDA is on track to develop another 5,100 additional places by 2023. Separately, commercial operators have also responded to market signals and collectively opened another 2,200 spaces. Let me now address the members' questions on the planning system. ACDA analyzes the demographics, enrollment trends, and existing supply in each planning area and plans for preschool places to meet projected demand. ACDA works closely with agencies such as HDB and URA to inject preschools together with new housing developments where families with young children are concentrated. Specifically for HDB developments, preschools are developed in tandem with new public housing flats so that residents can access preschool services soon after they move in. If additional capacity is necessary, ACDA works with preschools and HDB to activate available void deck and communal spaces for centre extensions. Maternity appointments could be useful as a leading indicator of upcoming demand. However, for preschool infrastructure planning purposes, it does not provide sufficient lead time. The member is correct that home transactions increase upon the end of the minimum occupation period, which results in new families moving in. The new families moving in may or may not have young children who require preschool services. However, what we observe is that once the childcare and preschool infrastructure is built to support the new precincts, they generally will be able to support the demand from the new owners when these flats are resold. Thank you.
Ms. Carrie Tan, can you keep it really succinct? Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate MOS responses and clarifications. Pertaining to the point about increased costs in order to maintain a pool of vacancies in order that we can optimize matching parents' choices. What I see in my MPS, a lot of residents coming to me are challenges like the very real challenges where distance actually matters greatly. The 15 minutes or 20 minutes of traveling time that they can save every morning goes a great way to alleviate their stress and mental health and mental well-being. So when they're juggling between looking after old people and then kids and then multiple kids for some families, bringing them to different locations, to preschools and infant care, etc., it really simply doesn't make sense. Hence my follow-up question on whether ACDA or MSF will be open to looking into calculating what are the costs and trade-offs of maintaining a vacancy pool so that we can allow families to have that peace of mind and reduce their stress in fearing that they might have to give up their jobs in order to maintain or upkeep this fetching of and bringing of children to school and back, which actually could impede on the family's one source of income if someone has to lose their job in order to manage all that caregiving within the family. Thank you.
I thank the member for her supplementary question. I agree that distance matters for many young families who have to juggle between work necessities as well as taking care of young children. That said, in my earlier reply, I had talked about a buffer, but actually this buffer is not a very large buffer. Oftentimes in the hotspots where there is a high demand for infant care, for playgroups, actually the centres are already operating very closely to their maximum capacity already. And that's why in my main reply, I had talked about where possible, the operators actually work with HDB, URA to see whether or not it's possible to build centre extensions. Sometimes they may also ask for waivers to see whether or not they're able to increase capacity limits. That is all being done at the local planning areas, but I hear what the member is saying, and I'd like to assure her that ACTA keeps a close watch on the numbers and works very actively with preschools on the ground to see how they can increase places as much as possible to serve the needs of young families. Thank you.